Never mind me while I'm stepping out my circumference. I feel the nerves trickling down. It's life humbling. My words stutter, stumbling, staggered, I'm caught off guard. This the life of a jigaboo, introverted, I'm scarred. Whoa, my mother been the melodies while they sing the choruses. Direct message from Slade saying we need more of it. Paranoia in my state, I see envy at high rates. Now it's crop off the fate, turn great so I fly straight. Was gone for a minute, now I'm back like an X with big factors. I see you turn flat like extinct like some raptors. When I drop through prayer, precision, practice and patience, we move to greener pastures. They saying life is a matter of mastering basics and mastering patience. More time I get tired of waiting. Maybe it's fate procrastinating. The times are bad, so it really had me sprung like she got me doing things that I never do. You thought that we connected when in fact it was trauma bonding. Just leave it up to me to break the rules, never corresponding. My childhood filled with fence climbs and knee scrapes and bikes and kicking it by the street signs. The older I get, I'm trying to lessen any screen time. The bounce back heavy, I rock steady on climb. This world's a fucking loop, the news will pick and choose whatever truth they wanna give to you. I cannot stomach it, so I poop. Oops. When life turns sweeter, the lemon mouths get louder. But I'm amplified with ghosts from God like that boy Fowler. Working like I got that point to prove. But truth be told, the proof is right in the pudding, no point to lose. 60 for the crepes, yeah, I did that just because. She expected more, girl, you know I'm saving up. Left me on red, well, it was what it was. Never stress over them joints or in downs when times get rough, so I ghost. Long are the days when we was close, and when I see you, it's like two completely different type of goats. I approach the weekly fire dropping, which I'm feeding. Still, I don't expect to be the one. Your boy having fun, still the songs get spun like Beyblades and teacups. My fun fair to those that ever really know me from jump. So what's up, I've been the one they all depended on like TJ. Now they're dead wilder than a furry knockout punch, leaving them straight stunned. It's hella fun. Now you know I'm coming through. When the growth look good on you, best believe they wanna screw now. I've been trying to climb, devil threw me in the dark. Baby, don't be insecure, you can still go make a mark like blow. Could never let them drain my soul now. Blow. Table turning like doorknobs, wow. Blow. I think I'm about to set sail. I'm a walking, living legend, walking with my chest out. Life keep dealing me cards, I keep fitting in love.
Yo, big up people, big up, man. We're back in the building. Just saw out the camera there. Yeah, man, we're back in the building, man, this evening. I know, guys, the Euros semi-final, Spain. Who's it? Spain versus France, isn't it? Yeah. Spain versus France kicking off at 8 p.m. over here in the UK. Don't worry, guys. We should be done before then. But, of course, as you guys can see in the caption, and big up everybody who is in the chat. Make sure, of course, you're liking, you're sharing, you're subscribing. You're doing all of that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe on over to Quasi Bowl TV, who I'm joined by this evening, and Savage Talks, whether that be sports, whether that be wrestling, whether that's Hugo Online. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And of course, now he's a 1K TikTok sensation. So make sure you head on over there and make sure you check him out. It's very, very good videos, by the way. So make sure you do check out these guys. But guys, man, I know we was talking a bit in the back office. Good conversation. How you guys doing this evening anyway?
Big up, man. Hope you're doing well. I think Savage on mute.
Yeah, Savage is definitely on mute. Rookie mistakes, man. Crazy.
I didn't even unmute myself. I thought you muted me still. I think
I did. I actually did, because I couldn't bother to unmute.
Okay.
Well, really, you should be looking down at the screen and you can see that.
All right, listen, man. That's what man to know here. You see Kelly split. Greatness. That's all I got to say.
I promise you. And by the way, I'm not going to name that individual who I spoke to on the phone, one of my boys.
Okay.
I know it might get techie if I say anything, but we had this exact same conversation. And all I'm going to say to that is, brother, it's not only us. Savage has also said the same as well. So it's not just us who are playing this Instagram, bro.
Once upon a time, a long time ago, teenage Savage, yeah, Khalees asked us a question, bro. She told us, milkshake brings the boys to the yard. I was like, crazy bitch talking about. She was right, man. I doubled back, bro. Full circle, bro. You know about bitch? Oh my God, bro.
I promise you, big up Khalees every time, because I don't know what even her voice just sounds like, I don't know, honestly, and I don't want to sound like a creep, but
It's
I
not
almost,
appreciation, bro. It's
but it's not.
appreciation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just an
I
appreciation.
saw a video.
You know?
I saw how the Lions looked at her, blood. The Lions looked at her like, yeah,
Bro.
we're not roaring at you. Fine, just be free and that. Okay, blood. I'm tight her still.
Nah, man. Big up everybody in the chat. Big up Ravi in the building. Big up Blues. Clues. Keep telling you, man, I ain't watched that for time. But the new one that I've seen, I ain't got nothing on mine. Whatever
Medium.
that old guy.
Who's
Yeah,
Nickelodeon and that?
yes, it was a Nick Jr. Nick Jr.
Nick Junior, blood. Yeah.
Nick Jr. But yeah, I do miss that show. Pick up YouTube name in the building. You're saying players aren't as good. I remember when it came to a big competition, Italy had like 4 or 5 top strikers. Yeah, if you guys what you go on Enzo's show, go on Enzo's stream. I'll see if I can find it before we end here and hear the conversation that both Savage and Enz were having when they were doing the rankings. And they were talking about Christian Vieri. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was a funny conversation because he's one of those strikers where you're like, yeah, he's just another one of the many great strikers that they've just had. And he couldn't fit in that list. Imagine what list he'd be in if he were here today, you know, that type of striker. Bro, social joint, I know Nas was there. I know. Blues Clues, the best 2 forwards in the world right now, Mbappe and Haaland, have never scored from a direct free kick. I did not know that. Mbappe's never scored a free kick.
No.
Haaland I can understand because he don't take them anyway, and he don't look like a free kick taker anyway.
Yeah.
But Mbappe, I've seen him take free kicks though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never seen him score one. That's a bit of a weird one, man. But
no, it makes sense. If you think about it, it makes sense because before, not last season before, he had Messi and Neymar.
Okay, yeah, fair. And Neymar's been there for a minute as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been there the same time, more or less the same amount of time that he's kind of been there.
Yeah, see what I'm saying. So he's always had people in the team that take free kicks anyway. And then at Monaco, he wasn't a free kick taker.
Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, no, I didn't even deep that. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. I guarantee he doesn't score one until he's the age of 30. How about that? Because at Real Madrid, who takes your free kicks at Madrid? Like right now.
What you talking about? Real Madrid now?
Yeah, like today, who takes the like without Mbappe?
Oh yeah, there's no Tony now.
Is it Tony Cruz? Okay,
there was Tony. Rodrigo can take them as well. Valverde can take them.
What about Modric? Modric, no.
It's gonna be Jude or Modric.
Nah, Jude can't take free. Well, actually, I don't. It's not that Jude can't take free kicks. I've never seen him try. Modric will take the long range free kicks, not shots though.
Oh, the ones where it's just like put it in the box, mate.
Valverde and Rodrigo can hit them still, especially Valverde. So probably.
Okay, fairs. Big up Ravi saying, what I'm assuming he's saying, what is it? Players have got better or worse? People love to overhype players before they have even done anything of real significance. Yeah. I think Savage mentioned made a comment like that before about we don't want to wait for something to happen almost. Everyone wants almost that instant gratification, you know, when we look at certain players. So when we are what I will say before we of course dive into this conversation about whether it's gotten better or worse. Listen, I understand that before anybody even tries to come at me with but football's different now. The players, they're more athletes and they do guys, I know science has moved on since the year 2000, heck, the 1990. We know science has moved on in that regards. But when we're talking about just players, considering we do all like to compare certain players from now to the past, I was like, well, a 20-year kind of gap. It's not like I said, yeah, what about are the players better now or in 1970? I'm saying the year 2000. I feel like that's enough of a 24 years kind of thing. And we've had quite a lot of players who have been through those kind of decades anyway. And I felt like that was a good kind of mark and a good measure. Football, in my opinion, hasn't changed so much in 24 years where I'm like, this is so much more different in terms of the style of plays and stuff like that. It's all relatively the same, just done a little bit differently. But yeah, man, I do agree. I think we are, because of the way the game is now, whether that's because of money, whether that's just because of how fans' expectations are, you know, it's always about the instant gratification. So we're not really willing to wait. And if you look at some of the world's best players, which we'll get into in a minute, when we look at some of these players, they're all young anyway. Whereas I almost feel like we've missed there's almost like a gap, if that makes sense, between the wonder kids, so the Jude Bellinghams and the you know Musialas, all of that kind of stuff, Vinicius Juniors and stuff, to the next batch? Like, where's that middle gap? Do you get what I mean? Of
Talking
players
about
where
the gap of like the 27, 28-year-olds.
yeah, like where are those kind of guys? Like, I don't
Crazy.
really.
You're
I
either
don't really
like
understand.
you're either like the other side of 30, or you the young ones. Bro, that gap's
Yeah.
got
How old is Virgil van Dijk?
33.
33.
33, and he's still considered to be, and this is no disrespect to him,
Yeah.
he's still considered one of the best, if not the best centre back in the world. Man's 33.
Exactly.
So where's the and then you got Saliba, who's what, 22? That's a 10-year gap. Like, where's the guy in the middle of that gap where you're like, or maybe Upamecano, to be fair, I don't know how old he actually is. So
Come on,
maybe
you did not give Upamecano that
no,
kind of.
Quasi. I'm just trying to figure
Wow.
out where is the middle guy where you're like, oh, okay, maybe Ruben Diaz then. Maybe someone like he's like in that kind of. I don't know how old he is in that kind of gap, but
Yeah,
but it's just weird.
20. He's around that age, 26, isn't it? So
He's around 26.
Him, Jota, and all that.
Oh, okay, they're like the same age.
Yeah,
I feel you, man. But guys, man, of course, look, I've got this this funny little picture here. Who's the best? I'm not really even here to even ask those kind of questions because I think with all of this stuff, it's very, very subjective. You know, in terms of who you like. Some people will say Mbappe with a straight face. Some people, like myself, will say Henry with a straight face. You know what I mean? Again, it's all subjective. I'm not really here to really argue that. It's more to look at stuff like we were talking about this on the stream yesterday. Anyway, that's what gave me the idea. When we look at like the Brazil team, and I'm just talking purely, let's say from 98, 2002, 2006, that kind of Brazil to the Brazil that we, of course, kind of see today. And we heard Ronaldinho talking about the Brazil team and how bad it basically is. And when you look at the two teams, you're just like, this was Brazil's Copa America squad. Now, in today's game, some of these players would actually be considered the Gabriels, the Alissons, Marquinhos, Paqueta, Bruno, Douglas Luiz, Rodrigo, Endrick, Vinicius. In today's game, some of these players are considered to be the better players. Some world class, you could say, like in Vinicius and that, Alisson, but the rest are like, yeah, these are the top tier kind of players. But if I told you about Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Cafu, Lucio, Gilberto Silva, Kleberson, and Ukaka, and all of these kind of guys who are not even making the 11, bro, you man, chat to me, man. Like, what is it that we're seeing now in terms of the quality? And maybe you've got a reason as to why that quality, if true, has kind of waned a bit. Open floor, man. You guys drop out.
I'll let Quasi go, man. I was just in the background of bringing up, what I'll get to later. And it's not based on the listed as who won, but I got the 2003, 2013, the 2023 Ballon d'Or list.
Oh, I've got the... No, I haven't got 2013. I've got
I couldn't do 2024 because it's not happened yet, innit? So
yeah, so I've got the 2023 Ballon d'Or. I've got the year 2000 Ballon d'Or.
Okay.
But if you got the first, and I've got 2014, so keep that 13.
Yeah, just have to give you a decade in between and that, bro.
Yeah.
Off the rip, just looking at it like crazy stuff.
yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. But yeah, go on.
Slower. I think there's a few factors, man. I think the money in the game's changed for a start. I think it's the money's given to you a lot easier now. It's a lot more money. If that was your motivation from the beginning, or one of your motivations, then you've almost reached your end goal early, bro, when it comes to financial gain. Like, we've gone from, oh yeah, this person's about to turn 30, so when he's trying to get a new contract at his club, it's the last big contract, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's people who are like 19 and that who have that person's contract already, bro. It's already cemented for them. So what did they have to what did they have? What hunger did they have? It's almost like boxing. It's like when you're coming from something where you don't have certain things, they usually are, not all of them, and it's nothing against anyone because I wouldn't want anyone to come from struggle. But usually, the best boxers ain't the ones who were rich when they was kids, in it. Just like the footballers are the same as well. We don't know
Mike Tyson's and that as well.
Exactly, bro. So everything's a bit more, and obviously the academies are different now as well. The people who are training the kids now, usually they're ex-footballers and that, and they were there for the change. So I don't know, man. It's a bit strange, man. It's all over the place, bro. But Brazil's a really good example of it, to be honest, bro. When you see the Brazil team, what's about now, it's not even just that they're not good as in terms of winning games and that. They're not even like, they don't even look creative watching them.
Yeah. That's a fact, man. What about yourself, Quasi, man?
Man, bro, I have so many questions, man.
Yeah, please
Like
throw them in, man. Throw them in.
I'm looking at the list of. I'm going to jump on that question real quick, but the list of the greatest players of all time. And of course, like you said, everything is subjective. There's a different list. You know, there's the Pele, Maradona, there's
Mm.
Messi. But I got questions, and we'll get to that later. But this one, Brazil only has one. I say this right now, they only have one world class player, and that's their goalkeeper. I do not see Vinny is not a world class player.
Mm.
He got subbed. He got subbed in the most important game that they needed to win, and they subbed him.
But
So
yeah, that's savage, guys. So I'm not fighting you on that
No, but
one.
I agree.
Okay.
There's two things to that. I agree that he's better than nearly all of the players out there in terms of that attacking position.
yeah,
But that still
that's
doesn't
true.
mean that he's world class. I just think he's better than them.
That's
We
what
remember we did that show the other day.
Exactly,
Remember about
exactly.
that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's mad. He's right, man. And I
Yeah.
think somebody just said it in the chat as well. And this sounds like a cop-out answer when someone's put in the chat. They're not playing on the street anymore, and like they're not street footballers like that.
Mm,
That sounds like a cop-out, but it's not, because it's literally in life, bruv. Less and less kids play outside now. Less and less kids play football outside because everything is through social media. That's their pastime now.
mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not that every kid doesn't want to play, but you're not going to try to play football on your own, innit? You need everyone to come outside and play for. And I know that because even my kids like that. He's always on, I want to go power league and play football, but I'm next to him listening to him talk to his brethren. They're just like, nah, we'll just jump on FIFA and then chill, bro. So it's like,
That's so crazy. Like we'll jump on a game that's
it's
not real.
absolutely,
Instead of
absolutely
going to
crazy,
do
bro.
it.
And
That's,
you know what I mean? And you pick up different things on the street. The creativity seemed like it was formulated on the streets better than anywhere. And then you go to academy and then they refine your creativity because they'll have to tell you that, no, you're going to be in a formation. Some of those things you can't do.
Right.
But we'll try and keep some of it, i.e. the Neymars and that. That's why Neymar seems like one of the last of that generation because he's in his 30s now, isn't it?
Mm.
So that does add up with the time scale, bro. And they've all petered out slowly. And now I don't know if I'm right about most of the Brazilian team now, but I'm pretty sure that a large majority of them learned their trade in the West now, and like in England and that. They're in England or they're in France and that. Yeah, but a lot of them before were learning their trade in Brazil for a long time and then moved. So they had like Brazilian players that were in Brazil playing football, but playing for the national team. Now they're all damn near all of them are at Real Madrid or Barcelona or one of these teams, and they're all in the same spot, which means they're in the same academy with the same dry coaches, and them coaches have got pressure to, you know what I mean? It's all efficiency and money, bro. We ain't got time for you to do these. That's why a manager can get mad at you doing fancy flicks, even if it comes off and works. They're still mad at you, bro, because they don't want you even trying to do that, bro. From when Neymar at that time when he done the rainbow flick over man's head and the ref booked him, I knew football was over then, bro.
Yeah. I was like, how can you book a player for doing tricks? Like, don't be mad at him because they're shit that they couldn't.
They don't make any sense. I know there's some sports where like I think in NFL sometimes they do like unsportsmanship certain things in it, certain celebration that, but that's not in football. When they did it, I was like, yo, I need to check the rule book, bro, because I've never seen this in my life, bro. You booked a man for embarrassing a man from a skill, bro.
Yeah.
When I was watching Ronaldinho tear up man's groin, bro.
Bro, Ronaldinho did way more disrespectful stuff on the pitch than that anyway. There's no way you're getting that.
People count Ramos as one of the best defenders of all time. And it's weird, isn't it? Because I'm a Real Madrid guy. But I always thought like Ramos wasn't that great. But I just liked him, though, because he was aggressive. And he will have like the mad odd game where he'd just be immense, him and Pepe. But you know how many compilations Ramos is in of getting torn up, bro? And he's considered one of the best. Now, man, are talking about like, just look at the show what we did earlier, bro. And look how man talking about brand for it, bro. And that's what we're doing now,
bro. And this is what I'm saying. This is why when we were having that conversation, that's why I know someone mentioned it in Henz's chat. Like, I think we spoke about, I can't remember what the other player was that we mentioned at the end.
It was Lenny.
Was it Lenny? No, there was another player that ends threw up, and someone said in the chat, "Right, geez, the face." Oh, Gravenberch. I think we were talking about Gravenberch, maybe. And I think I just had like a look of disgust, and I was just like, "Yeah," because like like the quality of players that. But again, I think I don't want to do the. Oh, I think you said this before, Savage. I don't want to do the old man thing where it looks like. And by the way, guys, I'm not even old. Like I'm literally younger than ends anyway. So. So I know I'm young, but the reality is I don't want to do the thing where I'm looking at it like, oh, right. football in my day was like this, and like, nah,
Yeah.
guys, don't get twisted because Ronaldo's still playing, you know. So me and Ronaldo are not even that far in age as it is. So if he's still playing,
that's why
then
I'm
I'm
always
okay.
trying to add a little bit of context to it, because there is, I don't choose to do this, but there is a natural slight bias just because I feel like when you witness something at I think that teenage age, especially around like 13, 14 and that, it definitely leaves an impression on you more than any other age, bro. 100%. So naturally, even seeing an advert, even hearing a bit of like one of them Yoga Benito adverts, or hearing Cantona say something, literally I'm like, oh, cold, bruv. Yoga Benito, man them. But I'm also level-headed, and I can say what I see, and yeah, bro, it ain't it, bro. It ain't it, bro. Like my son, I've seen him discard like he's pretty knowledgeable on football, to be honest with him. But I've seen him discard some players when he gets them out of packs and that. They're like FIFA legend cards and that. But it's because he don't. But it's like loud drop and all that, which is even further back for him. That's like us with Socrates and them, man, innit?
Yeah, man, won't even know who would like. Yeah,
when it comes to that middle range of legends and that, where it's like the age range of Ronaldinho and Gerrard and all that. I've sat down with him and showed him the videos, bruv, and he's mad. He can't believe that some of it's real, bruv. Particular R9 and Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
My son was like to me, bruv, why does everyone who keep editing these videos speed the video up? I said, bruv, it's not sped up. That's how fast he is, bruv. Especially that famous video when Henri knocks the ball in front of him and he looks like he's jogging, but it's so quick. I was saying to my son, bruv, that's not fake, bruv.
Like he was really doing this stuff on the pitch, bro. Like it was like a real thing. Facts. Nah, man, I mean, it's true.
This is the thing, though. This is what I'm going to say. Yes, I agree with what Savage said. Vinicius is a great player, but he's not world class. His consistency is not at a world class level. A lot of times he's above the rest. But in total, man, at first when I was growing up, they thought that video games was going to kill football. But actually, it's social media. Because just like you said, the kids are not playing, they're on their phones. Right? The kids that needs to make money are going to go steal the phone, so they stay on the phone. Now, maybe this multi-club system will save football, because then when Liverpool buys a club in Brazil, the kid will stay in Brazil until he's old enough or good enough to come to the West. But then who's going to coach him? Is it going to be a Brazilian coaching him, or are we going to send?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
That Brazilian style is going to be stopped. That's my point. It's going to stop being trained in Brazil to play Brazilian, bro. Because their thing is always going to be, no, you want to get this kid up to a level that he can play in the Prem, because that's where all the money is.
And I know the crazy thing, Savage, they Brazilians, when Pele was starting, they were playing like Europeans, and they never won until Pele changed that style of play. And they all went back to the favela type of play, and they started winning. Now they are switched back. So will we see a change back to the old, to the Samba system? But in total, man, bro, look at players. I think we are looking at efficiency over skill.
100%.
Because personally, I'm sorry, Cristiano Ronaldo is not what people think. All that hype. He scores a lot of goals. You take that away from him, what is he?
Legends.
I'm just saying, this is the part where social media is going. They're looking at the goals he scores and say he's a GOAT. This guy has kicked 59 free kicks and killed birds. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, that's not. The thing is, with Ronaldo, I think when I look at someone like him, I'm like, I just respect what you do. You're not my guy, but I respect you highly.
No, I respect the guy. He has brought.
And to be fair to him, he's been around so long, bro, that naturally he's not going to be at the level. That's.
I don't care about the Ronaldo now, because I was lucky, or we were lucky enough to witness Ronaldo in his prime. So I don't care about the Ronaldo.
The only difference that these have got now, Ronaldo and Messi, is before, when the players got older and they started to have a drop off, everyone treated them like they had a drop off and didn't keep talking about them like they were still the best in the world. They just we watched R9 slow down, even though he was still really good, but they weren't treating him like he was. There's a part when he's at Real Madrid and that, and like, because I was at the game at Old Trafford, bro. And the reason why everyone gave it a standing ovation, because they were already not rating him as the best anymore, bro.
That's mad.
So
Look that was like 03, innit?
03. So they're like, he's rolling back the years and that, bro. Or when we got knocked out by Portugal in the World Cup and the Euros and Rui Costa Ross won, and they were calling Rui Costa. I remember, bruv, I remember the commentary. Ross won in the extra time, and I was like, "Oh, Rui Costa, blast from the past." I said, "The past," but that's how they treat man, bruv. Like honestly, that the level below. Not, I don't mean the level below world class because I think these players were world class, but there was another elite level ahead of them. Those players was like Nedved and Deco and that. And those players would be the best players. Bro, I'm not trying to rewrite history, bro, but I'm watching man do the most basic stuff now, and everyone has to hype it up because no one else is doing it. So it's like the best of a bad bunch.
This is what I was saying, and I'm pretty sure people are looking at it like, oh, he said, oh, he scores goals, the most important part of the game, which is true. But right now, let's say we were supposed to watch the game and say, okay, don't watch the goals. Let's just watch the player.
You won't enjoy watching him if it's not the goal.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. People also forget the entertainment factor of what football is.
Oh yeah, him and Messi are like ultra legends now, just because like what Social saying, they're whatever you call of someone's prime, they don't forget the age thing because I know everyone does the prime age thing. That's not real. It's not a real thing. Everyone's different. But whenever Messi and Ronaldo hit their peak is longer than anyone else's, bro. Like it's not, bro. Ronaldo went to Madrid in 2008.
Is that when he went? Right, okay.
Yeah. So up until him and Messi was already cooking at that point.
Yeah.
He stopped being. I mean, you'd say like the season after, maybe up until he went to Juve, he was still cooking.
I mean,
he was the big match player, bro.
I like what the post said. I enjoy Ronaldo as much as I hated his guts. I enjoy him when he was at Manchester United than when he went to Madrid.
Yeah, but don't discard the first couple of years at Madrid. He was cooking, bro. Like I promise.
No. He was before he changed to number 7. When he was a number 9, he was still. You were like, yeah, that's the Ronaldo kind of. But then when he got that bad injury, he realized that he lost a step. So what did he do? He switched to number 9. He became an actual number 9, and then the goals just start coming. Right? He figured a way to score goals. The thing that I'm saying about, like, when you look at Mbappe and Henri, I always have a vision that every country or every region has a style of play. The French style of play is very silky, smooth, like, don't touch me. I'm just, oh. You see Zizou play.
Bro.
Like, I know there's a lot of video of showing Ronaldinho cooking their Madrid team, and he's getting standing ovation, and in the Brazil team, he's cooking the French team. There's also another part of that coin of Zizou killing the hell out of Ronaldinho, where he could not even defend him. Right? The same thing with
2006 Zidane was madness.
Oh. So you watch that game and you'll be like, bruh, how does he do that? Like, he gets the ball and you can't even. Same thing with Henri. Now, if I'm looking at Mbappe, I'm like, all you do is kick the ball and run. That's all I see.
I've stopped feeling savage.
I was about to say, the biggest difference. I'm thinking of this now. Yeah, the world class players of yesteryear, bro, was they didn't. And I don't care if their team loses, by the way. That's just life, and people lose. I don't remember sitting through games thinking that this person didn't have an effect on the game at all, bro. Whereas now, I'm watching people not have an effect on the game at all, bro. But they're already in the world class category, bro. And I'm like, how have you? And I'm not talking about a one-off game. I'm talking about multiple games, big games. I'm seeing you not do anything. The first leg Mbappe had against Dortmund, he did nothing, bro.
He did nothing.
Yes, yeah. He was.
The second one was the one when he hit the post a couple of times and he was trying to.
Yeah.
He did, but when I mean, like, they might as well have just subbed him off and used someone else on the left. And you can't always do the thing. Well, he's on the left. No one's giving him the ball. He's not a striker, bro. Go and get involved in the game if you have to,
bro. And the funny thing is, and what exactly what you said. Let's even bring it to the highest level. Messi, probably the GOAT, right?
Yeah, it's incredible, man.
I'm looking at Maradona, and I'm like, you put Maradona in any team, and you have a problem.
He's a bad boy. Maradona's
you
a bad
put
boy.
Maradona in any team, and you have a bad. You're gonna have a long day. He might not score. He might not have an assist. But I promise you, Like there's a book by the I think it's a documentary by the Cameroonians, Italian 90,
Yeah.
and they said when this boy when they exchanged the flags and they flipped the coin and the ball was in the middle of the center circle and he goes in and hit the ball goes like 100 feet up, and then he starts to juggle his shoulders. The Cameroonians say we had lost that game from that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, man.
They say we lost the game.
Roger Miller and them, man, bro.
So the plan was when this guy gets the ball, hack him.
Mm.
Go back. They had 2 red cards and 4 yellow cards in that game. I don't know how the Cameroon won the game, but that's exactly what happened. These days, Messi gives you that a lot of times, but the game is protecting him. If Maradona had the same protection, had Ronaldo, phenomenal, had the same protection, you can touch him. And that is also that's the part where, okay, different generation, but I'm looking at it like this is not the basketball of yesteryear and basketball now. This is football. Football, you could quantify. I said, if this has changed a little bit, can those players dominate this year's players? Can these players right now go back then and play those rules where I can tackle you from behind?
I'll never diss the current generation based on that, just because obviously it's not their fault that the pitches are better. It's not their fault that man of the sports science is better than that. And it's same for the ones of the past. Yeah. They were not as athletic as the current ones in it. You know what I mean? Not only because of sports science, but also because life was almost like, not that life wasn't as serious, but they didn't take themselves as serious. So like when you won a game back in the day, man, did go out for a drink and that together after the game and that, bro. Like it's an enjoyment thing in it. If you listen to interviews of the players now, they're automatic. Like I was watching Haaland talk, and I think it was Haaland and Grealish, and there was like, "Oh, who's the most fun out of used to?" And that, and they both said Grealish, and Grealish like, "Nah, he's a boring bastard. He is, bro. Like all he does is trains and eats and go to sleep, bro. That's all he does."
Oh, I'm sorry, I just want to have a career and be a professional footballer.
Exactly.
It's true.
Exactly, and the thing is, there's nothing wrong with both of them. Grealish is always seen as like a loose cannon because we always see him enjoying himself, but you also look at him and go, well, what the fuck else is he supposed to do? He's young as shit and he's rich and he's playing football, bro. Like, you want him to wait till he's retired and then he's nearly 40 and then tell him to enjoy himself when the youth's gone and he's not, bro. No, he wants to enjoy himself now, bro. And I think part of the reason, there's some stuff that we talk about that isn't the era's fault and it's probably not even true, bro. It's just that the other generation seems to represent more fun in it. And football is entertainment at the end of the day. So this doesn't represent any fun. It represents like robotic.
Exactly.
It's even like
it falls into that. Yeah.
Exactly, bro. And I half think it's not. I know this is about football, but I'm half thinking it's not football in general. I think it's life, bro. I think the world's done that, bro. Everything has become more efficient. Like the self checkout is more efficient than a person doing it.
Than a person.
But then there was people where
still
someone buying stuff, you might wanted a little conversation today with the person at checkout because I'm sad and I'm on my own, but it's gone. Yeah. Because we need you to move on to the next person, or we was employing these people at this car factory, but the machines do it faster, so you can piss off, bro. And it's just everything's like that now. So football efficiency, get the goals. We need to make the money so we can get that ad revenue in, and that's it. Bro. I'm not trying to hear what you got to say, and that's when
the entertainment factor is gone.
Remember when Liverpool played Midtjylland and people screwing because Jota got injured? It's like, oh, why is Klopp doing this? I'm like, bruv, they need you not want them to throw the game because it's Midtjylland because we're already through. It's £2 million, bruv.
Yeah. It's 2 mil per win, so he's thinking, bro, we need to just win.
Yeah, go get the win. Yeah, and that's how it is, bro.
It's even like just before you guys go, I wanted to move on. I'll move on, but like talk about something in a different kind of direction, right? Because I see people, and then there was a comment that came up. I did star it, and guys, I will go through any questions and stuff like that. I'll go through them in a sec. But social joins, you mentioned here, you're saying, and big up social joins, by the way. You said not everyone was clear. I don't think we're all saying here every single player was a bad boy. I don't think it even works out like that anyway.
Yeah,
I just think it's more about. For example, this is why I got this picture up because I even had to just double check and all of that.
Bad boy.
Kevin Phillips won the the European Golden Boot in the 99-2000 season, scoring 30 plus goals in that season. No, 30 goals in that season,
And
right?
United won the treble that year, innit?
99, 2000, 99, I think so.
Or yeah. Or
I know 98, 99 they won that treble with Bayern Munich.
And then they won the league this season.
Yeah, I think they won the league again. Yeah, this season anyway. Yeah, they won the league. Sunderland finished in like seventh position in this season. The reason I put him up there was that I'm even talking about when we're talking about whether the quality is gone. Don't look so much at the top end. I'm like we're going to talk about the top end players, of course, because in my opinion, I think there was way more top end players anyway than there is now. I'm even talking about whatever level you want to say, because I wouldn't call him a world class striker. I'm even saying if you're not even calling Kevin Phillips, who bagged goals consistently for Sunderland, and he's not even considered to be world class, where are those guys? Like, I'm not even like he right now in today's game would literally be the Harry Kane of this world. And that's mad because he's not even remotely close. Like, if we went for a list of strikers, I promise you wouldn't even think to put Kevin Phillips in that list. Not to say because he was dead, it's just there's too many other strikers to kind of go through. So that's what I want people to understand. Don't just think it's top end that we're talking about. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, because even what's just happened in the Prem, like this is the first season in a minute where you've seen people big up all these guys who have started scoring goals. So like Solanke and Watkins all finished on high goals for their clubs and that. It seemed like a bigger thing because it doesn't normally happen, bro. But that's what was happening all the time before.
Yeah,
Phillips and Hasselbank and all that was always there and there.
Yeah, I remember you spoke about Hasselbank the other day.
Yeah. So it was just normal. So instantly, what happened this season? As soon as Watkins and Solanke started scoring, all of a sudden at the end, everyone was like, "Liverpool, we probably should get him instead of Nunes." Ain't that the first what everyone said? After one season, though, innit? These men were doing it all the time, bro, and getting no recognition for it anyway, bro.
Nah, fact.
Fact. Yeah, man.
Let me just quickly go through some of these comments. And guys, big up, man. You guys in the chat. So I feel like you see these kind of conversations, the only reason I prefer these conversations more so than talking about the boring, everyday life football stuff here. It's just because I feel like these are the kind of conversations people are having anyway, all online, in regards to when we're talking about football. And, we all try to act like, we're football connoisseurs and stuff like that. Big up Mike's in the building. We all try to act like we're football connoisseurs. So when we're having these kind of conversations, for me, I'm always just interested in how people kind of view certain things and how they view the game. Now, obviously, and I wanted to get someone else, I wanted to get Harris on because he is a bit on the younger end. So I would love to know his perspective on the game, how he sees it in comparison to us old heads, if you want to call us that. But, he couldn't obviously join us. Let me just quickly go. Honestly saying, Wataru Endo and Salah are set to begin preseason training at the AXA Training Centre on Wednesday. Bun them both. Honestly, he's asking, question, when R9, Ronaldinho, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Riquelme, all the men played, we never was worried how much they got.
Never.
How much they got per week. Now we do. Yeah, because we didn't care. And obviously, I feel like we never really had that much access anyway to find out. Like, you wouldn't have known back in the day, oh, let me just go online and type in how much Riquelme. Like, now I feel like we've got more of an access to kind of do so, so to speak, in terms of, well, if he's earning 150 bags a week and we're looking to sign him, that means we must have to pay him like as if we're accountants. We have to pay him 250 or 300 bags. I'm like, we don't have to do anything. The club have to worry about that themselves.
Even fingers like that now. Stats are like that as well. The certain stats you couldn't check before.
Nah, facts.
And you wouldn't have wanted to either. I weren't trying to win an argument with it. Is he a striker? Let's talk about his goals and how he plays. Is he a playmaker? Let's talk about how he passes the ball and his assistant. But now it's like, you spoke about yesterday, bro. Now people are grouping together strikers GA because they were trying to win an argument with me, bro. And I'm like, well, can we just talk about his goals and in the Prem instead of stop trying to stretch him out over all these other leagues and these other games?
I can't lie. Ever since he told me, and obviously I know Michael, he watches. He has been watching the Copa America, so he'd probably be the best person to ask in regards to like Darwin Núñez. But I feel like I've been hoodwinked these last couple of weeks. I can't even lie. After that conversation we had earlier on, I feel like I've been hoodwinked into believing this guy has been scoring 10 goals in Copa America and he's doing a madness. But obviously, I'll ask him when he comes back in. Honestly, he's asking a question. Do you guys go on, Quasi? Go.
I was going to say, that the player you have on there, Sunderland player. There's also another Italian player that nobody gives love to. but this guy score goals. He seems like he had a GPS into where the goal post was, and that was Antonio Di Natale.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Bola.
Come on, yeah.
This brethren can be blindfolded and still shoot the ball into the back of the net.
But guess what? You see Di Natale, you wouldn't
Mhm.
even consider him to be like a top whatever
Nah,
striker
you
though.
won't. You won't.
And not because he's rubbish. It's just because there's so many good
Yeah,
strikers
it wasn't
that
even close to the
he wasn't even close. Like I
Nah,
would never look at Di Natale and think, oh yeah, this guy's. But when you deep it, you're like,
he
right,
scored.
Quasi's
You
right.
know,
Like,
he scored over 200 goals for Udinese. He was their best player, and he was like, bro.
But
And
that
he
was
didn't even make it.
that
He didn't
because
even make it to the Italian team.
like
yeah,
what it's like what you were saying earlier. There was a period, bro, especially in Italy, bro, where the teams that you wouldn't consider the bad boy teams had bad boy players still, bro.
what
Hmm.
Palmer and that when Palmer had the Sebastian
Problems, bro.
Veron and them, and
Yeah,
it's all long. It's
exactly.
all long. It's all long. Question: do you guys think that's the reason fans also defend Luis Diaz because he still kind of plays the old school way, you know, the dribbling and stuff like that? Because fans still love to see that at times.
I think
Yeah, I
I see
actually
that. I see that, but I also see that in the on Messi more than on Ronaldo. Messi is more of an old school Maradona type of player. There's skill, there's some flair, and then he scores a whole lot of goals. Ronaldo is well
No, but he's
after
talking
the
about Luis Diaz, though.
this is Luis
no,
Diaz.
I understand. I'm looking at
Oh,
I'm doing the comparison on why sometimes people say Ronaldo, Messi is better than Ronaldo because he gives them the old nostalgia than what Ronaldo does. You know, Messi, he dribbles, he's little, he does all the entertaining things. Ronaldo is just like shoot from 60 yard out, free kicks, header. Like, okay, what else?
Yeah, I
You know what I
stopped that
mean?
argument a long time ago, man. Like, if anyone picks Ronaldo over Messi, it's not an argument to me. You can choose to, and like
Yeah.
they're both that good, that whatever, and have your
Hmm.
opinion on which guy. But that's how good they are. The fact that they're even talked about at the same level. But yeah, I
Exactly.
think that Diaz comment though, probably for me, that's probably a true statement because he's my favorite
Hmm.
Liverpool player, and I think like I almost pray for the more of the end result just so he can stay at the club and I can enjoy watching his football and that because I hate when it's like when there's nothing to come of it because it's not the same in it. The players of yet the ones that we used to watch, there was an end result to what they did as well.
Hmm.
Doing it for no reason and turning backwards is pointless. It's like Seb Maximin in it. Seb Maximin was exciting for a little bit until you realise he's just going to turn back a bit. Like there's not going to be much at the end of this.
no, it's
So
facts. It's
part
facts.
of the
It's
reason,
facts.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go through a couple more of these big up guys in the chat, and then Mike, I want to get your kind of take on this discussion before we take a look at the Ballon d'Or lists of a few of the seasons in the past and just kind of comparing those. I promise you, it makes for embarrassing reading for the players that we see for today. Blues Clues is saying also the entertaining footballers can be very frustrating to many fans when they lose the ball. Now they've been replaced with output merchants. Yeah, I don't think man will complain when Ronaldinho lost the ball, though. That's the maddest thing.
Hmm.
Social joins, no robotic. These guys are to be close to peak fitness. Tony Adams and Merson were walking on the
You know what that
beach
is?
drunk.
That's based off the
Yeah.
comment I made. But when I didn't mean in terms of like the athletes and their fitness. I meant in terms of the football itself. Like the way people play football is robotic. You're right. Of course, the people are fitter now, way fitter and way more athletic and stuff like that. But I'm saying
Hmm.
everything is rigid to the point where you can literally see like word for word, bar for bar, what their managers told them to do, bro. There's no
Yeah.
off the cuff anything, bro. To the point where you're looking at man going, at this point you should shoot and like go on, have a go. And the man just turns back and passes. No, what's going on here, bro?
No,
We,
it's
we
true.
gotta keep the ball. Oh, you're a goalkeeper. Never go long. Please pass out from the back, even though you got the one team pressing you off the park.
Hmm.
Don't kick it up long because you might lose the ball once. Okay, all right.
No, it's true. Big up ADAJ3. I don't care what anyone says. James at the Copa America has been a
Cooking.
breath of
It's
fresh
cooking.
air. True number 10. I hear it. Anfield Road N. Ortega. I'm Pablo. Aymar. I completely forgot about my man. Burkamp, Letitia, Raquelme, Luis Garcia, David Silva,
Hmm.
etc. Days are long gone now. Even Firmino, the last of that breed, had to play as a false nine to flourish. Nana, I fully hear that. The most average player in the big up drone. The most average player in the 90s would look like a world beater now. Well, yeah, I agree. It was the year before the night. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
it was that year that we're talking about.
Yeah.
With thing, ADA saying when Crystal Palace were facing relegation, they had Andrew Johnson. You
Yeah,
know
man.
they would kill for an Andrew Johnson right now. Big up Mateta because he's been doing his thing, you know, in this last like season. But yo, you had a striker like that now, yeah, you wouldn't even be worried about them doing well in the Premier League. I promise you. Calvin Phillips and Niall Quinn were dangerous. Yeah, and again, two players that you're not looking at and saying to yourself like, yeah, these are like top players, you know, so to speak. Even really good players like Tora Andre Flo would be considered a worldie today. He was a good player, but not a worldie in them days. But I'm thinking about there's a lot of players you guys are naming I forgot about.
Yeah, Chelsea man's never even speak his name to this day.
Yeah,
they never talk about him,
bro. Idaho Johnson and them, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Phillips's golden boot was called the rubber welly because he never produced that season. Listen, man, I promise you. Even players like Ginola and Zola, they don't exist anymore around Europe. I think they might exist, but we're not going to look at them the same way as we would have looked at a Ginola and a Zola now because of the way that I think the game is being looked at with a microscope where, as we said, it's GA, you know, oriented. It's, well, he didn't get 20 GA last season. So because he didn't get 20 GA, I don't care what he's doing. These times, if you just watch the player more than enough times, you'll probably see, you know, that these players are actually doing relatively well. You know, if I'm being
what Vingy does reminds me of them. Kvaratskhelia, the way he dribbles reminds me of them, man.
Yeah. I like Kvaratskhelia anyway, man. But anyways, before we get onto the Ballon d'Or stuff, Mike, man, sorry, I kept you waiting there, my friend. Chat to me, man, or chat to the people, bro. Like, how do you kind of see it in terms of the quality of players that you know you like? And I know you obviously watch ball now over a range of different leagues and competitions. So I guess it would be better to ask you, like, how do you see it now in comparison? I don't want to go too far back, like 90s, but just let's say the last 15 years. Well, I'll just say that. We'll go that far.
What's the best way? The Prem has killed ballers. I'll say that right now.
Yeah.
I think that the Premier League has so much money, and that not even just the top six, all the teams. They got all this money in the world. They can just go get a player from Serie A, get the player from Liga Portugal, and they put them in the system. And because the Premier League is so highly covered around the world, not just England, the United States, Singapore, Thailand, Australia, Ghana, you name it. If they make one simple mistake, they get crucified for it. Do you want to hear this stat, G? Because I remember I watched, during COVID, I was so bored, of course, and I had no work, and I would just finish my army. I watched all the games from Euro 2000. And that, for me, is the best version of Zidane. Do you know how many times he lost the ball in each game? On average, how many times he was dispossessed? 25 times. Imagine if that happened now. If that happened now, Twitter would have an absolute, tirade about it. Oh my God, he lost the ball again. He lost the ball again. Yeah, exactly.
You can't lose the ball 10 times now.
No, you can't even lose the ball 10 times. I mean, when I was growing up and playing football, I played at a pretty decent level here in Finland for a club. And every time I got the ball, it's just like, don't lose it. Don't lose it. Now, when I know a friend, he's a pretty good coach for a youth team here. He's just telling the kids, do not lose the ball. If you don't have a one-on-one situation, take it back. Take it back. And I think that's now a big issue there's quality players. Of course there's quality. The amount of training these players do, I know they're quality. The issue is, I think it's coaching. For me, it's all about systematic and okay, we're going to keep possession in this situation, I watch so many games from South America because for me, I think that's where the true essence of football is. You got the passion and you got the ballers, and there's a true essence of a number 10. And obviously, Adash talked about it, that James Rodriguez playing in the number 10 position. I see that a lot in South America.
Yeah.
But the issue for South Americans is now you see what Chelsea are doing. You see what Liga Portugal, like Benfica, Sporting, and Porto are doing. They're buying all these kids at 17, 18. They don't develop. They don't develop the sort of South American flair. Once they get to Europe, they become Europeanized. And that's the best way I can put it. And yeah, look, overall, the players, I don't think there's the world-class player. Like, Batistuta would be the best striker in the world 100%. By far now. 100%. Batistuta was destroying players. Di Natale is a good example, even though Di Natale for Italy, he had about, I think 2 good moments. I think he scored the World Cup in 2010, Euro 2012, and that's about it for Di Natale. Mm-hmm. I see people overreacting about Endrick, right? Endrick has one bad game for Brazil.
Yeah.
At
I said
seven,
this yesterday.
no, it's like
I said this
they
yesterday.
threw him into the lion's den and said, "Here, go up against Araujo and Matias Oliveira for Uruguay in a rivalry game." Well, obviously the game was terrible. You know, as much as I love South American football, that game was terrible, and a lot of South Americans said it as well. It was a terrible game. And then everybody's like, "Oh no, this kid, no, he's not gonna be good. Overrated, this and that. He's just an Instagram model. That's all that Endrick is." I'm like, you're not gonna
Instagram
give.
model, you know, Jesus.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That's-
look at some of his photos. I mean, they're pretty
Like, his
Instagram-esque.
photos are fantastic.
They're fantastic. They're an Instagram model. They're Instagram model.
Yeah, it's
But then
true,
it's like one bad game for a player, and I'm just seeing everywhere. And these players look at social media. Of course they do. They see all the bad comments of, well, oh, you're not that good, and it's gonna play into the mind, especially for a 17-year-old. Like, I don't know what people want to expect from him. Yes, like if you compare to Lamine Yamal has done very well for Spain and Barcelona. But that's an enigma. That you don't rarely see that a 16-year-old is playing so well at professional level. Endrick showed like he was 17 years old against Uruguay, and then everybody's like, "Oh, one bad pass. He only had one pass throughout the game." I'm like, "Watch the game, people. Uruguay, all they did was just kick the poor kid. That's all they did. They just kicked him, and now I just see overrated. So this is a big issue for especially these young players. Is that when they have a bad game, everybody will overreact." And then go into his Instagram or his Twitter and just say, "Oh, you're terrible, you're rubbish." So I think it's social media is hampering these players a lot because it plays into the mind of the
100%.
psyche of the athlete. But yeah, of course, we're not going to see the technical ballers as we used to because I think the biggest issue is the number 10 position is dead.
Dead.
I only see it in international football sometimes. Club football, name me one team that plays with a true number 10, people.
Nah, there ain't any.
Now, real quick, can I
go
challenge
ahead.
Mike's point just a little bit? I'm gonna
Yeah,
play
yeah.
devil's advocate. There was a 17-year-old kid by the name of Pele who got kicked, stomped. I think his knee was even destroyed, but he still pulled through. I do agree with the whole Hendrick over sensationalizing, but that thing is also this whole brand situation that's going on. He's a 17-year-old kid. They should not be hyping him up like they're doing right now. Let him play, and he find himself out.
Brazil are passionate though, innit, man? They like having a savior, bro.
Exactly.
It's not bad. It's not a bad thing though. But obviously, you've had so many greats that when there's a new one coming through, you wanna look to someone, innit? The kids want a hero to look up to. They had Neymar.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. Because when Pele was coming through, he was just a sensational good kid who happens to be good until the world saw him and they were like, this kid is something else.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Same thing. I think even Messi, the same thing. Just a great kid who's so good. And then everybody was like, who is that? The passing thing, the small, intricate passing, that thing was back then. Dutch used to play like that. 1-2. They used to call the pass on 1-2
Or
game.
total football.
Yeah, the game has always been there. It's just now setting players. Social media is part of it, and the brand is more important than the player. And the fans are jumping on it. So you see Pogba do a trick, and you be like, "Oh my God, he's the greatest player ever." They'll be like, "Pogba hasn't done anything." You know what I mean? So
Nice.
they over sensationalize it because don't forget when Pele played bad in the World Cup, the whole radio stations talked about it. His family heard about it. The newspapers talked about it. Of course, it's not at the same level as social media, but he got the same heat. He got the same type of things at that time, right?
Yeah, but
So,
it wasn't. Michael's right though. It wasn't up one game.
no. His first game. He was told. Remember, we were saying that they were playing the European style, and he was told, "Don't do that." He couldn't figure it out until I think one of the players told him, "Just play your game," and then that whole transformation started. But what I'm saying is, we the handlers stop babying them. Maradona said this about Messi for a long time. Messi just figured it out 2 years ago to win a World Cup. Stop babying them. They have to go through certain ringer. So don't over sensationalize them so early because guess what? The populace is gonna demonize him when it doesn't work out like
Oh
injury
yeah,
happened. You see what I
Oh,
mean?
of course. I mean, look at Maradona's time at Barcelona. It was a failure
Barcelona,
almost.
Man,
It didn't work out. And then if that was social media, they would say, you know what?
oh,
Forget this guy. He's rubbish. He's not going to be world class. And then look what he did at Napoli. So that's a big issue. Is that if you have one bad transfer, right? One bad transfer, you could just be rectified and crucified forever for your career. That's the issue I have a lot with. I think it's not just the players. I think it's also just social media, talk shit, aka talk sports, Sky
and
Sports.
that's what I'm
You
saying. The
name
brand.
the channels. They all want to crucify a player after one bad season. I'm like, okay, he had a bad season. It happens, people. They're human beings at the end of the day. We're not all gonna be perfect every single game. We're not Messi. Look at Messi now, 37 years old. Are we gonna crucify him for not being great? No, because he's done. He's done his job, and that's the thing as well with Endrick. It's like that's his first start for Seleção, first start for Brazil, and we're gonna crucify him for that. No, come on, man. I mean,
I was gonna say that we're in a bit of a social media bubble as well, because obviously not every fan is arguing on social media, and it's some people
exactly
games. Marco's a good example.
I don't see G arguing on Twitter yet.
Well, because it's a good example because Marco watches loads of football.
That's right.
And I said this before. I think I was in the chat when I was saying that the snobbiness of the Prem's the best league in the world, and I'm like, okay, you can have that opinion. That's fine if that's what you enjoy. But they started dissing the other leagues, and I'm like, but you don't watch it at all, bro. So how would you even know? And it's the same thing with Endrick and what we said earlier with Adeyemi. It's not the problem. I never have a problem if someone has an opinion on something, but it's not an informed opinion. They literally said to me, "Oh, he's shit because he's a fraud because of how he played in the final against Real Madrid." I'm like, but if that's the only game you saw of him all season, that's one game, bro. Which is what happened with Endrick. Ask all these people how many games they saw of Endrick, and I can 100% tell you what they're going to say, bro. If they tell the truth, they saw him against England, and then they saw him in that Copa America game. And that Copa America game, most people saw a compilation. That's it. That's it. That's all the know of him.
No, they didn't see all the fouls that were committed on him, or actually the crimes against him because they were. I mean, Uruguay tried to kill the poor kid.
But see, this is where the generational divide comes from. G was talking about that. From our generation, we're looking at it like, did you know what they did to Maradona?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
You see what I'm
I don't
saying?
know, but in terms of like the
so
foulings and stuff, bro, like you can never.
Yeah, so Michael, I get your point about how they fouled him, but old school head like us, we're looking at it like that's part of the game. Toughen up.
Look at that Ballon d'Or list, man.
Bro, and this is the thing I wanted to move on to now anyway, like because everything obviously all ties in, but bro, when you and again, by the way, I know I said it before. That's why I wanted to mention the Kevin Phillips and all of these other type of players, because it's not just about the top end players, Di Natale and all of these Luca Toni. Like where would you even rank these guys if you just spoke about Italian strikers and stuff like that, right? Christian Vieri and whatnot, right? When you even look at stuff like this, I'm like, okay, obviously the 2000s era was a good era, right? In terms of football, and you got Luis Figo obviously won the Ballon d'Or, Zidane, Shevchenko, Henry, Nesta, Rivaldo, Batistuta, Mendieta, Raul, heck, even David Beckham is making the top 10, of a list like this. That's how you know it's like, right, okay, cool. Like he was really, really on job. And then when you're starting to look like, and listen, we can go through, I don't want to go through, but we could easily go through all the years. I promise you, because I've done the research already, when you go through all of the years of this Ballon d'Or list, you'll start to notice, take when Messi and Ronaldo come into the mix and they're going back to back and they're doing their own thing and whatnot. Look at the quality of player. I would say outside of your like top 5. So usually it will go Messi or Ronaldo. Then the third was usually like, it'll be different, like Neymar one year, then Bale, and then like Suarez. Like there was like different
Ribery and that as well.
Ribery, Robbie, like all of these guys, like who are obviously, in my opinion, they're top players, right? When you start going down that list, and I'm not saying you have to go all the way to the bottom because you don't have to do that. But when you start going through every single year, I promise you, you start to clock that, right, the quality is not getting any...
Do you want to tell you the 2023 one?
Yeah, go. Read the rest. I got up here, but read the rest. I know people can't read. Might be able to see it.
Messi, who's of the other generation. Messi, Haaland, Mbappe, De Bruyne, Rodri, Vinicius, Alvarez, Osimhen, Bernardo Silva, Modric, Salah, Lewandowski. No point going further than that's the top 12, bro.
I mean, I'm even looking at the rest anyway, to be honest. Heck, Benzema had to be put into this list anyway, just because.
Just because he won it the year before, so how was you not going to slot him in?
Yeah, how's he not going to slide in?
Yeah.
So they kind of threw him in there. Bukayo Saka's in there. Andre Onana's in there. Mwani's in there. Erdegaard's Mwani. What the hell is he in there for?
Just know that you just said Andre Onana's in there, bro, and that should tell you enough, bro.
But this is what I'm saying to people is that, like, when I'm looking at some of these lists and I'm looking at something again, like Savage said, he's not talking about going past that 12th mark, but I'm not even talking about those kind of players. Like I'm looking at things like this here: Salah versus Hazard. Now, Chelsea fans, don't shoot me in the head. You reckon
this is Twitter's biggest argument of all time? It comes up every every 6 months. Salah versus Hazard.
It's definitely one of the biggest arguments. I don't know what would be the top.
Always like an Henry one. There's always that. There's an Henry one in there somewhere.
Yeah, Henry will usually come up. This one during the season. This one during the season.
Everyone who's against Henry always says the same thing in every Twitter thing when he fell off at 30. That's all everyone says.
Yeah. But it's just like I don't care. Like I don't care that Henry fell off at 30. Like I couldn't give two shits because see that Henry that I saw, those let's just say 10 years, let's say from the age of 20 up until the age of 30. Yeah, that was way better than some people who've had careers for like 15 years anyway. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I'm not even bothered. But this debate, Salah versus Hazard, the reason why I find this debate the funniest is because we're Liverpool fans, right?
Yeah,
and big up the Liverpool fans in the chat and big up the Chelsea fans in the chat. Whatever, big up with Sam, he's saying Salah's clear. But like whatever side that you're on, that I don't really care. That's up to you. But because they're so different in what they are, one is an efficient goal-scoring machine. Like all he's done since he's come to Liverpool is just bag you goals. He's got assists, but the goals is what people really care about. Hazard has had some seasons where he scored, a bag of goals, but his style of play, aesthetically, he just looks better. And to be fair, I've watched him single-handedly give or take, single-handedly win Chelsea a Premier League, in his time there, at Chelsea. So I've seen that. So I know what this guy's about. But these two will always be pit against each other. And the only argument that people will always come with is the GA. Is GA that important to people that that's the argument that we're coming with when we're having these debates? Oh, but he got more goals. Cool. Let's take out Salah's goals. Let's take out Eden Hazard's goals. If I asked all of you lot here, and again, whatever your answer is your answer, who would you say is the better player? Let's just say I took out the goals and we just said, if you just watch the player for everything they've ever done on the football field, taking out their goals, who would you say is a better footballer?
Hazard.
Mike?
Hazard.
Quasi?
Hazard.
This is what I'm trying to say. So now we throw in GA. Let me ask you guys again. Who do you think's the better footballer?
Salah.
Savage.
I don't know.
It might still be tricky. It might still be tricky for some people.
I think you're right, man. If you add the goals in, it ends up being Salah because it's mainly because when you go star for star on the way they play, Salah's not a bum in it, so he's already really good.
He's not a bum.
Then also when you add the goals in, his goals are so much more.
Yeah,
but then like.
But you watch,
right,
but you watch
Hazard take the game by the scruff of the neck too many times, bro, and just spin man up.
Too many fucking times, bro.
But this is how I look at it. There are certain players when they're in the game, they don't have to give an assist or score a goal. When they're in the game, there's a problem.
I mean, I don't want to do this, but
to me, that's
Alexis Sanchez, Arsenal.
I was going to say that because realistically, like, and I've checked this many a times, but Zidane's stats ain't that great.
No, they're not.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Neither is Bergkamp's, neither is Ginolas.
Bergkamp's one surprises you though. If you didn't know,
it throws you off.
It throws you off because I was like, you didn't even score that many goals. Like I thought he scored more than that.
No. He's on like you see the stats what Gakpo and Diaz got last season. That's Bergkamp's stats.
Yeah, look at the way we do. We
Yeah.
Savage, that's what I'm talking about. There are certain players that when they're in the game, they will cause. If we were
Hazard played in. Sorry. Hazard played. Sorry to cut you. Hazard played in a worse team.
No, he didn't.
No,
I don't feel like he did. No. Maybe for like one season.
Even then, and that was the coaching problem.
I think. To be fair, Hazard and Salah, both of them played at one point in the best team in the league. Both of them.
Yeah. When Hazard there when Fabregas was there? Yeah. No, he's played with Diogo Costa. I feel like he's played with Drogba, maybe like at the end when Drogba came back.
It's about Tabor. Because when Mourinho came back, he was there as well still.
Yeah, no, sorry. Hey, go on, Quasi. I'll just
No,
I'll
no.
have a
I
look
mean,
anyway.
I was just gonna say. I mean, the point that I was making was setting players. Like you mentioned, Zizou. Zizou is a perfect example. He won't score that many goals. He won't score. He won't have a ball of assists. But we're gonna have a long day with this guy being in the middle,
Hmm,
right? Those type of players are gone these days. Those
hmm.
that when I look at him, I say, okay, that is the dude because yeah, he will not score goals, but because of him, if we are to bring stats, he is the reason why somebody got an assist to give to
Oh yeah, of
somebody else
course,
to
yeah.
score. Those type of players are gone. Everything, yes, everything is systematic. So it goes from Trent to Henderson to Salah to Firmino to Mane back to Firmino to Salah. Go. Salah gets the goal, Bobby gets the assist. But back in the day, like Mike was saying, where there was a true number 10 where he gets the ball, everybody's shaking, they will never get the assist. But guess what they will get? They will get a whole lot of entertainment in the middle of the field where all defense will be scrambling. Ronaldinho was one of those type of players. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, this conversation, I'm telling you, man, it's at a high level. And I'm even looking at it on the continent side, on Africa. And I'm like, who is the next Ito? Who's the next Okocha? Who's the
Oh,
next Abedi
don't
Pele?
even
Who? I'm looking at the list. I'm like, who's the next Mane and Salah?
listen.
Osimhen is not that dude.
Nah. I don't. I think you know what I think we do have though more of now, and I will give it to the players of today. I feel like we do have more youngsters
More
Yeah, there is.
refined
doing
players.
their yeah, like
More refined players.
yeah, yeah. But like I feel like they're all quite young. Like we said before about
Mhm.
when we're talking about like the best players from like now
Yeah,
kind
they
of
were
thing in
young,
today's
bro.
football. They're quite young. Jude Bellingham's, the
Mhm.
Yeah,
Vinicius's, all of
Yeah.
these, Lamine Miles, all of these guys. They're all kind of young. They're
yeah.
not
Bear of
26,
them,
27s and
bear
stuff.
of them can't drink or have sex in America, boy.
I swear,
Bear of them.
I swear, Yamal can't even play past a certain time in the
Yeah,
Euros. He
sub
has
him
to
off,
come
boy.
off.
Yeah.
That's a mad thing anyway in itself, by the way. But the fact that that's even a thing, that tells you, first of all, this brother is super young. So he
Mhm.
shouldn't even be allowed out past a certain time. But I don't feel like we had that many back in the day. That's what I will say. I feel like the players that we are talking about, so even now, when we are looking at some of these top players here, this is 2014. So even the
Mhm.
Iron Robbins, I'll keep it a buck. At Chelsea, I don't think he was that good. I feel
No,
like he
he was
got
just
to
good.
this. Yeah, he was just good. He was just good. And to be honest,
Mhm.
I even still think Damien Duff was better than him at Chelsea. But the
Yeah,
Robin that we people talk about, Mister
Bayern.
Cut In and Shoot, is the
yeah,
Bayern Munich Robin. Now,
yeah,
man,
yeah,
don't talk
yeah.
about the one
And
from
where
Chelsea,
did he go after Chelsea?
Real
But
Madrid.
then
I'm about to say
And
no
what
one
did it
talks
work
about
out there?
It
Real
didn't.
Madrid.
No,
Exactly.
When he
and
was
I
there
almost
with
forgot until Michael said it.
bro,
Until Michael said it, I
he was
almost
up
forgot.
there, man, with Huntelaar and them, man. Blood.
Huntelaar, man, like Klaus.
Oh
Snyder
Fucking
man,
hell.
too.
him
Most
at
people don't
him
even.
at Schalke with Raul. Oh man, that is a
I was about to
goated
say most people
Oh
don't
partnership.
even.
yeah, that
Most
was
people don't
good.
even remember that Huntelaar exists, blood.
Oh,
Never
he was
mind
so
being a.
good.
But again, Huntelaar. Like, there's so many players I could have added to this list. Huntelaar, like this guy was so deadly that anytime I used to play Football Manager or FIFA, I'm like, nah, I need to get Huntelaar. Like I just need goals. Like I don't care what my system is. I just need him to score goals because he's just a penalty box demon,
You
like
know,
them Robbie Fowlers of this world.
Yeah,
another player from the early 2010s that people will talk about as sort of that legends will never forget is Dzeko. Dzeko at
Man.
Wolfsburg
Savage
and
mentioned it.
AS
Yeah.
Roma
yeah.
Oh,
and even Man
oh,
City,
Dzeko.
even though he didn't start all the time, Dzeko, my God, that guy could score goals. I mean, look at the partnership he had with Wolfsburg with Grafite. Bro, those two
Mhm.
men won the Bundesliga. Those two, I think they both got 25 or 30 goals that season when
30 goals,
Wolfsburg won the
yeah.
league. Both of them,
Yeah.
not one, just both of them. That shows you how good they were. And Dzeko, I think, is a really underrated striker from this generation.
Yeah.
Really
Now he's
underrated.
like 37, 38.
Yeah.
Nah,
It's
he's
like
I mean,
me,
they
super.
me,
said
me and G. Who was we talking about yesterday? G. Guti, yeah.
Gucci, bro.
Yeah,
Gucci,
Guti was
Gucci
bad
mad.
back
guy.
then was considered like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
and I don't mean yeah as in
No,
because he
no,
was
but you're
dead.
right
Just
because
yeah,
the way people saw Galacticos, there wasn't included him.
yeah, they wasn't including him in the
And
no
that's not who they
Galacticos
were
at all.
talking about, bro. He was the one off the bench, blood.
He
But he's
became the
cold.
captain, didn't he?
Yeah, he's cold, man.
I think so. Yeah, maybe.
I,
But
I,
if you
I
put
personally,
Gucci in this
like,
era,
I was about to
and
say,
that's why I was looking at the people. And listen, look, I'm a big Spain fan. I have been for
yeah,
a minute. So when we're talking about like your Rodris and your Sergio Busquets, for me, you're not going to get better than Busquets, and Spain have
no,
never gotten better than him. Obviously, within a system, they haven't got better than him. Rodri's a very, very good player. I rate Rodri. But when they tried to do the comparison, I'm like, I feel like even that's going to be difficult to even compare anyway, because what Rodri's asked to do, say, for Manchester City, man wasn't getting Busquets doing that kind. I think Busquets is doing all of that. No. Busquets is more of someone who he's literally there to complement everything else that is going on in and around him. But he was also one of the smartest guys on the pitch, bro. He just always seemed to know what position I needed to be in, even if it's just he always done this thing that used to piss me off later on in his career, always looking for a foul. But it was like he was just clever enough to put his body in such a way where you're just like, you have to foul him now to get that. If he was trying to get the ball.
I love him, but because obviously I'm a Madrid guy, and the man is a scumbag as well, bro. Like this geezer,
just respect the player.
You want Busquets to get tapped on the shoulder and throw himself on the floor like someone kicked him in the head, bro. And I'm like, bro.
No. Sorry to cut you.
Who did he get sent?
Huntelaar was not mid. Huntelaar was not mid. I don't think he was a mid player. I'm not going to say a mid player. Nah, I can't call him that. I would have just said, if you want to compare him to someone of today's level,
Osimhen.
Don't rate Osimhen like that though.
The levels are different.
Okay. If you're talking about, okay, cool. Yeah, if you're talking about the profile of player and level,
the profile player,
we'll say, all right, cool. We'll say Osimhen.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry.
I even think Prime Coutinho was now this Prime, and he just joined a new club. I think Prime Coutinho now is better than everyone in the world, bro. I'm not joking, bro. I swear to you, bro.
At that moment in time, yeah, he was. Yeah.
God, bro. Ruthless.
Oh yeah, Falcao. He speaks for himself.
Yeah, serious brother, bro.
Yeah, the game has
Hendo. Fuck, you know.
I respect Al Capitano and that.
Did you not even watch these players? Like, I can't say he's a dire Hendo.
Remember when Hendo was a slight wonder kid, blood.
Listen. Hendo had his seasons, you know. He had some seasons where you're like, he's actually all right, you know. He's actually all right. But yeah, sorry, go on, Mike.
Yeah, you go look at the old. You look at the old Italian team, right? The older they get, the better they got, right? And then you look at the German team, which was more technical. They were what you could say what modern football is today. But then they also had some serious technical ability players who could complement the style of play they were playing. Hence, I think, wasn't it Gullit right now, he's basically the last of that generation type of player where you think that this boy has no skill. You look at him on the playground, you would never pick him. But this guy, I think, has the most goals in the World Cup, right? So it's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, Mike was right. The coaching these days are poor. So the coaching, we need to look at coaches who think that just because I play at a higher level, I can coach. We got to stop that.
Yeah, they take a lot more instruction now, though, as well.
You see what I'm saying?
Remember, coaches now, it's not like you've always had different departments in it, but now it's like before they even take a training session, they have to take in all this information from the sports scientists and the fitness coach and the nutritionists and that. So it's like, I want to train my team this way, and straight away, man, are like, oh yeah, well, he's in the yellow zone, and so we're not really sure about that, and he needs to do this. And it's like, fucking hell, bro. I just want to play. I just want to train them, bro.
Yeah.
One thing I would say is I think a lot of managers are trying to copy each other.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do. They're all trying to copy. They're all trying to copy Pep, which of course you do it because Pep is one of the greatest managers of all time. But you have to innovate yourself as a manager. You have to differentiate yourself from others. That's why I like Klopp, even though G at the end didn't like Klopp, but at least he tried to do something different compared to Pep. Now De Zerbi to Xabi Alonso to whatever managers, they're all trying to copy Pep, which I can respect as well. You're trying to win the games, and that's obviously at the end of the day the most important thing in football. But you also got to have a different style. The one manager I really like right now is Thiago Motta. Because watch Thiago Motta next season with Juventus, bro. This guy, what he was doing at Bologna with just like average players, you want to say nowadays. I mean, he's getting Xerxes 40 million, Calafiori 50 million to these big clubs. I mean, Thiago Motta, he had his team playing sort of old school football in the sense that the players had to develop themselves. They had to get better. They had to show their quality. And I was like, okay, I see Ndoye to Freuler to Abisher to all these guys cooking for Bologna, and that's why they got to the Champions League. I think if Thiago Motta now with Juventus with better players, That's a team to watch next season.
Oh yeah,
people.
I've got them.
Oh
I've got
yeah,
them.
that's one of my teams to.
Yeah, that's the team
Yeah.
I've got
To follow
winning the
next
league
season.
next season, man. I think they're going to win the league still.
I don't think they'll
But
win
you
the
are right,
league,
man.
but they'll be the most
Different managers,
entertaining.
Because
You don't think they'll win the league? Who do you think will win the league
No,
next season?
still Inter.
Inter again, yeah.
Okay,
Because I like
fair,
Finger,
okay,
man.
fair.
I like Klasner. I like he plays different. He plays completely different to everyone else plays as well. So there's all the different managers, man. It's just you are right though. There is a big crop of people who appreciate what Pep's done, and they all. And to be fair to them, when they get interviewed, they're always like, "Oh yeah, I took some from Pep and blah blah blah." But they naturally just end up playing like him. And me and G was talking about this. Pep's a genius, so he doesn't actually stick with his style of play for very long. He
No,
changed
he ends
it.
up changing.
Yeah,
it
yeah. So like,
Yeah, yeah, he does.
Yeah, so while you're still playing on like Pep version 1, he's on Pep version 4, bro. You can't beat him, bro. It's too late.
Realize Pep was doing in. I'm not saying I know people. He wasn't the first manager in the world, but man was doing inverted stuff, right? And everyone else started to follow suit. Now he moved on to. I'm just going to play 4 centre backs. How about that? What?
Arteta was on the coaching staff, so I'm sure he had some part in it. And then he moves to Arsenal next season. Takes Zinchenko and Jesus, tries to play them like how Man City were playing the season before, and then Pep stopped playing like that. So you're inverting Zinchenko in that, and Pep's not doing it anymore. All of a sudden, Pep was using like 2 centre backs, and then John Stones started to walk into midfield. I said, "Hold on a minute."
And now look what Arteta's doing. He's getting centre backs to play
I
mean, bro, try and be different than the guy you're trying to copy. Please try. He will keep losing. No, that's the problem, G. If Arteta tries to keep doing the same thing as Pep, he'll keep losing.
Yeah, facts. No, facts.
He'll keep losing. Yeah, he has to
because you're
try
always
something
a step
different.
behind. Yeah.
Yep.
And
I think this is going to be a big issue as well. Like, we can talk about quality of players and this sort of stuff, but the managers.
Yeah.
If the future of football is Man City versus Arsenal from what I saw last season, bro, I'll be watching Fluminense versus Flamengo every weekend. I'm not trying to watch that crap because I know those players are good players. They don't want to play like that. Erdegaard should be a natural number 10. Erdegaard back in the day in the early 2000s would cook. Yeah. He would be on the Ballon d'Or list. He would be in a top 10 Ballon d'Or, Erdegaard, because that's how special of a player is. Now I see him in the right CM position. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's got a good connection with Saka. Play Erdegaard in the natural number 10. This guy would be unbelievable.
Yeah, that one, Mike's right, yeah, because that game, you know, the one in the final running was Man City Arsenal, the 1-1 game.
Oh, God, horrible. 0-0.
Terrible.
No, I have a question.
Bro, even remember that's when Roger was after the game. Was like, yeah, these like they didn't come and try and win the game. They didn't come to try and win the game at all.
I feel like I would just before you go, Quasi. I will say this. I feel like with a game like that, yeah, maybe Roger was right. He was not playing the game, so he can tell you. I feel like it was a game like that where I just felt like both teams were just trying to be overly tactical. So it was more about the tactical element of the game as opposed to, you're right, it wasn't entertaining. There wasn't much. I can't even remember if there was even shots like that in the game.
Man City were getting chances in the game. They were just missing, whereas Arsenal, they didn't even seem like... When they get to the edge of the box, it didn't even seem like... There was like, oh, let's don't lose because we're winning every other game anyway. And I remember after the game, Tariq came on and I said, I don't understand the flacky teams getting in terms of like, they got a draw in it. But I said to him, I know how good Man City are. You might regret this game. You could have went for it because whether you lose or you draw, Man City is just going to win every game from now on anyway. And they did. They won every single game from then on, bro. And that game would have got Arsenal over the line at the time, innit? So, but hey, man, it's one of those, bro. Even Villa play a little bit different, something different.
That's true. Go on, Quasi. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Do you guys think that we are starting these kids way too early to play in the first team? Because back in the day, when you look at the players, they look like grown old people, right? When you get a 16, 17, or even an 18-year-old in your team, you're like, this kid is special to be with this grown man. These days, I think back then it was like 21, 22 is when you started seeing players coming in. Now it's like 15, 16, 17. I remember I was listening to TalkSport where I forgot who it was. He said sometimes these players' knees have not even developed yet.
No, I kind of, it's like I said though, isn't it? Like there's a lot more younger players coming. So Lamine Yamal, how many 16-year-olds would we have seen back in the day? Probably not that many. And if you did, even Messi didn't get his debut till like, I can't even remember if it was 17.
No, he debuted at the World Cup at 18, I think.
Yeah,
2006.
I think he was the young one, isn't it? Walcott. He was the youngest person in the World Cup.
Yeah,
Yep.
and Walker
And
didn't even play.
didn't play.
Didn't even play. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, and you had to be a special. Obviously, back then, if we're just thinking back to that time, you were like a special type of talent. Walker at the time, that was just all PR, but he was rapid, probably faster than everybody in that England team at the time. Anyway, so there was some type of, I guess, thinking method to the madness. Kind of thing. And again, look, and big up Oli, you're saying, look at the player that we're talking about, Raul. Like, this is what I'm saying. You have to be a special type of talent in order for you to play. Whereas now, it's like there's so many youngsters. I can only do so many player watches, and there's about 2/3 of the world I'm not even seeing that I'm missing every single day because it's like there's actually so many youngsters that are just around playing football, doing their thing. It's tricky, bro. It's tricky.
I'll just say this with the youngsters. I mean, specifically for one club. I'm sorry, what Chelsea are doing to some of these South Americans, they're going to destroy some of these kids. I mean, look at my AVI. I got Kendrick Pais. This guy should be balling out. He'll probably be on the bench. He'll probably be at the bench on Chelsea.
Is he going to come back? Is he coming back to Chelsea this season?
Yeah, or next year. He's still 7. He just turned 17. Dude, the kid is unreal, man. Honestly, I love Kendrick Pais. I think he's a baller. But he's going to Chelsea. Do you think it's going to be a good environment for him when there's Cole Palmer? Then they signed Esteval. I'm like, I get it. You want to sign the youngsters, and they're all very talented. But you also need to develop as a player. You need to play minute after minute, especially at that age. And now he's just going to sit at the bench. And I'm worried for Esteval as well. Like, the kid is unreal. Like, a lot of Brazilians, and I've watched a couple of his games, he could be the next sort of generational talent from Brazil. But if he's just going to sit at the bench, look, how old was Neymar when he went to Barca? 22? 21?
22, yeah, 21, 22.
Yeah.
21, 22.
Exactly. So
which is mad considering how long we saw.
But that actually, I think that was the best thing for Neymar as well. He won the Copa Libertadores with Santos. He got to develop. We saw him the first time really in the 2013 Confederations Cup. We're like, okay, no, this guy is ready to make the move to Barca. And he did it. And now we just see kids moving at 17, 18 from South America to go to Europe. And for some of them, it's a life-changing moment because of the money. Like, a big reason is the money. But also just these clubs, I don't understand it from their perspective. Then they'll just loan him out to Strasbourg, and then he might flop for one season. And then they're going to be like, oh, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. We're gonna send you off to another club. I think that's going to be a big issue. And now, with these multi-club ownerships, I hate it, bro. Honestly, I hate it so much, these multi-club ownerships.
Funny, I was talking about it earlier.
I honestly hate it. Because all they're going to do is just going to ruin young players' careers. You
think they'll stockpile players? You think?
Yeah, 100%. Why do you think Chelsea bought Strasbourg? Why do you think Liverpool wanted to buy Bordeaux? I don't want to do it. As a fan of Liverpool, I don't want to buy Bordeaux. Let them have their own identity. Now we're just gonna cherry pick them, whereas they can't really develop as Bordeaux are a massive team. Do you know who came from that club? Zidane. Zidane's from I think Chouameni as well is from Bordeaux. Now we're just gonna send some 17-year-old dude from Brazil, or actually no, you can't until 18-year-old Brazilian. Then we'll probably send some 18-year-old Mexican or American go to Bordeaux, and we'll see. Maybe he'll be good, maybe he won't, and that's gonna be, I think, a big issue because they're super talented in their own countries, but when they come to Europe, they might not be prepared.
Well, with me, if they let the people from that culture coach them, I'm fine with it. Because guess what? You bring in a different profile to Liverpool. If that's
it won't happen.
But yeah, that's why we were thinking that it would be the problem. You send an English person to Brazil to coach Brazilians. That is a problem, right? So
I might cry if I ever see like Paul Dickoff or something manage a Brazilian team. I might quit football. I might quit football then.
Paul Dickoff,
I might quit football.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's the part where I'm like, back in the day, the kids played under 21, under 23 for a long period of time, and they were too special. You bring them to the senior team. Now we bring in like something like Bradley. He's good. But a few years ago, keep him in that team, let him develop a little bit more, build his knee up, and then he comes in at a better place. We're going to start them early. They're going to play too many football, and then they crash.
You should more going with Gavi and them, man, bro. Legs are dead out.
Exactly what my point was.
My boys are my boys are not doing great right now.
Bro, I'm a Madrid guy, bro, but I want to see good footballers, man, and they were so promising, bro. But
that's true.
The amount of games and that, bro. I seen Gavi look like he was dying on the pitch before, bro. Man was pale on that, bro.
No, it's true.
Nah, there's still hope for Gavi because Vert's got ACL injury. Also Calafiori. There's a lot of players that have gotten ACL injuries at a young age. They just need the time to develop, and I can't trust Barca with that. Because Barca are just like, if you're ready,
Push him.
you go on the field and you
Go
play
on the
90
first team.
minutes.
Yep.
Just leave my team alone. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. Big up to the guys who have joined me in the panel. Big up everybody in the chat as well. Please make sure before you guys leave here, make sure you do smash that like. Make sure you head on over to Quasi's channel. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Make sure you head on over to Savage's channel, and of course, make sure you head on over to Mike's channel as well and subscribe. Mike, have you got anything for the game that's coming up? I'm just about to show everybody as well. Go on.
I'll be live after the game. Hopefully, if Mbappe does not cook a 38-year-old Jesus Navas, oh boy. I mean, honestly, Navas at 38 years old. You know what's actually crazy? I saw this. Yamal's father is younger than Navas.
Yamal's father is younger than Navas. Say swear.
Yeah,
That's bad.
that's craziness.
That's bad.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I'm looking at this team, and this is the France team. Kind of expected. I didn't think they were going to change it, to be honest with you. I expected Mwani actually to start up top in front of Thuram. Thuram's Thuram and Mwani, very, very weird strikers, man. Very, very weird strikers. I don't know how to even rate them. Like, I'm like, I think you are good, but you're not good. You're just okay. Like, in a certain system, Thuram for Inter looks good.
You know what them two remind me of? They feel like they should be in the Olympic squad, and Elise and that should be in this squad.
Yeah. Like, I would have preferred if you brought Elise in that, but it is what it is, man. But go on, sorry, man. Go on, you got to say something.
No, I was just gonna say Thuram is basically a two-striker dude. I just don't think he can play in a single striker formation. He just works better when he has somebody next to him. I think if he had like an old school number 10, I think Thuram would do well because he does make good runs and he had decent link-up play. Kolo Muani, I have no clue. The guy should have never joined PSG.
Yeah,
Never.
man.
But Mbappe, he had to recruit the whole French national team to PSG in order to feel happy. But Kolo Muani was doing so well at Eintracht Frankfurt. He was developing well, and then he said, "No, au revoir. I'm going to PSG and collecting the bag." That's another issue with a lot of issue with these players nowadays is they just want to collect the money, which fair enough. But you have to develop it as a player.
No, it's true, man. It's true. So, guys, make sure you head on over to Mike's channel. After the game, he said, so we'll be talking about that. I will be over there myself as well. Hopefully, my boy Spain, we'll get the victory and we'll get the dub.
Spain's going out, bro. So
okay, first of all, I feel like you're being mad negative.
They just have to hold that still. They're going out, bro. I don't make the rules, bro.
Okay, well, we'll just wait. We'll wait and see. Savage, I'm assuming after tomorrow's game, you will do a live. I'm assuming. Maybe.
Yeah, my next videos will be. I got just before kickoff. I'm gonna go and do what time is it? Yeah, Gladiator trailer just dropped. So I'm gonna do a reaction to that now, and then.
Oh yes, Gladiator.
Yeah, and then tomorrow after the England match, aftermath, we'll do Euros, man. Cook up both games and that. But as I told you yesterday, if England lose, blood. It might be a moody show still, but hey, it's all good.
We'll see. Quasi, if you got anything popping, comment up, bro.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow, what man them saying. Hopefully, we get more transfer gossips and transfer news. It's kind of dry out here. It's hot out here for PIMP these days.
What movie that in? Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow, yeah.
Hustle and Flow.
Oh, no, here, fuck.
Yeah. See, I said, like, what do you mean? Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, guys, make sure you head on over
one
to
thing.
channel.
One thing, G. I just got to recommend to everybody. Tomorrow, I don't know what time it starts in England. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. Colombia, Uruguay. That is going to be sensational.
I need to, because I've not watched any of the Copa America, so that looks like a game maybe I should actually watch.
Oh no, definitely. You have to watch Colombia, bro. These guys are bringing old school football back with the way they're playing right now. Everybody's balling out.
If I watch the game,
bro, I can't. G, I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules, G.
I am going to crucify. Okay, you know what? You've now said it.
You're about to watch England tomorrow. I'm going to go to sleep
now.
Are you watching England tomorrow?
No, okay, but we know England are shit.
Respect England.
Anyways, guys, make sure you smash a like, make sure you share and subscribe. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I will do a preview for the game. I don't know if it's going to be recorded. If I can be bothered, I'll let you guys know. Stay tuned, stay blessed, enjoy your evening. Peace.